So, you have accepted the truth.
I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father.
That name no longer has any meaning for me.
Beyond Darth Vader's injuries, restrictive armor that made life practically miserable, we are all aware of his crippling depression. It's one of those things that it is mildly explored in Legends material and somewhat in canon. However, in the ultimate answer, we got a description of Vader's life and crippling depression from none other than the creator himself, George Lucas, where in an interview with Rolling Stone in 2005, he actually revealed what Darth Vader was going through. Before we go through with that interview, there's a lot of more material that goes into this subject more thoroughly, and if you guys are interested, one of the craziest ones is, of course, as we've covered in the channel before, it is called Darth Vader and the Lost Command comic series. It is one of those series that explores Darth Vader's complete self-destruction. In a way, it shows us what he went through after Revenge of the Sith and after Padme's death. His life was in complete shambles, figuratively and metaphorically, where at one time he completely destroys the prison he is into just in order to die, finally. You can guess that he didn't actually die. Just the mere thought of wanting to end it all shows you what Vader's mindset was at the time.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
Although Darth Vader had renounced his former identity as Anakin Skywalker, in order to fully embrace the dark side of the Force, he did so only in appearance at first, because the sacrifices he made to ascend to a position of power, remember, at first he was just second only to the Emperor, he inflicted deep psychological scars, and they were left in Vader in a constant state of depression and emotional turmoil. In secret, Vader grieved over the consequences of his actions that led to the death of his wife and the near destruction of the Jedi Order. In one of the comic books, his guilt caused him to dream about a life that he thought might have been his if he had killed Darth Sidious rather than saving him from Mace Windu. In his dreams of an alternate life, Anakin struck down the last Dark Lord of the Sith. With Sidious dead, Anakin would now never become Darth Vader, and the Republic was never transformed into the Galactic Empire. It shows you the inner wishes that Darth Vader had years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. In his mind, he regretted everything. In this dream, Padme Amidala not only survived, but she birthed a son called Jyn Skywalker, but was also pregnant once again. Anakin Skywalker ascended to the rank of Grand Master of the Jedi Order. Everything had worked out perfectly, and his life was going beautiful until he wakes up. Outside of his dreams, however, Darth Vader tried to strengthen his severely weakened body by focusing entirely on all of his rage and hatred, thereby fueling the dark side within him, but ultimately, a lot of times, he was left with only his tragic thoughts and his crippling depression. As we mentioned earlier, in a 2005 interview, George Lucas was asked what was the greatest challenge with Darth Vader. George went on to say that I had to make Darth Vader scary without the audience ever seeing his face. Basically, it's just a mask. I said, how do I make that evil and scary? I mean, he's big and black armor, and he's got a cape and a samurai helmet, but that doesn't necessarily make people afraid of him. His character had to go beyond that. That's how we get his impersonal way of dealing with things. He's done a lot of horrible things in his life that he isn't particularly proud of. Ultimately, though, George Lucas said, he's just a pathetic guy who's had a very, very sad life. The first film, people didn't even know whether there was a person in there, meaning in A New Hope. They thought he was a monster or some kind of robot. In the second film, it's revealed that he's a human being, and in the third film, you find out that, yes, he's not only a father, but a regular person just like the rest of us. Again, I will reiterate the most important aspect of this interview and what George Lucas said, what we should focus on, and me personally, I focused on this line. Ultimately, he's just a pathetic guy who's had a very sad life. You can clearly see that George Lucas was seeding the expectations for Vader's life, the depression that would follow him years and years after what he had done. He even went on to call Darth Vader a pathetic guy. When George Lucas, the person who created you, calls you a pathetic guy and actually shows seeds of your depression, this is the ultimate evidence that we have about Darth Vader's miserable existence. And I can't imagine that his heavy, dark armored suit made it easier for him. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you guys think you would ever be able to go through what Darth Vader did? And is Darth Vader more of a hero because he was redeemed, or what he went through all of those years? Talk to me down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you can have an awesome day, boys and gals. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you until then.